everyone, welcome to Crafty Shenanigans. I'm Shannon Smith, and today I want to share a project with you. I have had such a good time. I've been working with Brutus Monroe on their design team, and I am loving the Aqua Pigments. And so I wanted to show you a little bit of what they do and how cool they are. And I thought I would play with a little bit of watercoloring and embossing, another one of their products that I absolutely love. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. Okay, so I'm starting out with this beautiful background stamp by Brutus Monroe. It is called Enchanted Rose Background, and I'm going to use that with my Misty. That way I can get a nice even image stamped on my paper. I'm also going to use the Aqua Pigment paper, which is amazing, and the Brutus Monroe embossing ink. I'm just going to go ahead and use my embossing buddy. I don't know, they're called many different things, but it's just to make it so that the embossing powder will only go where I want it to. And now you want to make sure you get everything really well inked. It's a little trickier when you're using clear, but that's why I'm going with the Misty, and I'm going to do it a couple of times. You can see I'm adding extra pressure just to make sure that the image is all completely solid on my paper. Okay, so I did that a couple of times. I went ahead and inked it again, but I didn't want to bore you with that. So let me go ahead and pull this off, and we will add the embossing powder. So this is called Gilded. It's a really pretty gold. Brutus Monroe makes my favorite embossing powder. So yeah, just making sure I get all of the excess off. Double checking where I may have missed a spot. Looks like we're ready to go ahead and heat it up. Okay, so I'm just using a little clothespin, being careful not to put it over any of the spots that I need, just so I don't burn my fingers. Just makes it a little easier. Heat tools get really, really hot. And I'm hoping the camera picks it up, but I love embossing, metallic embossing, because it's like kind of magical when it turns. You can kind of see where it's shiny and the difference between where it's shiny and where it's still powder. Let's get started with our watercoloring. I'm going to use just these little trays. Okay, so I'm going to use a couple of different types of aqua pigments today. I'm going to be using some that are creamy and some that are just regular aqua pigments. The creamy ones don't need a lot of water or anything with them. They work great by themselves. The aqua pigment, the regular ones, I will sometimes use with water. I'm not going to use a whole lot of water today. I'm just going to use my brush and the aqua pigment to go ahead and watercolor with. And I'm just going to lay a layer of this creamy orange all over in this big blossom. I love this big luscious bloom. I struggle with watercoloring just because it is so loose, and the looser it is, the prettier it is, I think. But I do struggle with it just a little bit because I'm used to coloring with colored pencils. But I sure do enjoy it, and I keep practicing. I'm hoping I'll get better at loosening up a little bit. And so you can see, because it's embossed, that the color pulls away from where it's embossed. I just love the creamy aqua pigments. They are so pretty, and they're fun because they're opaque. We can add more depth even just with the same color, just going over the same, just going over different areas. So now I'm using the yellow in the creamy and in the aqua pigment. They're both aqua pigments, but one's got the creamy and one's just the regular. Okay, so I started out thinking I was going to use the creamy yellow, and I didn't really use that so much. I really pretty much stuck with just the Aqua Pigment yellow for the smaller bloom. I'm going to add some light pink in the creamy Aqua Pigment. And also some pink in the Aqua Pigment. Again, you can add more depth with the same color, just going over it in layers. Adding some green to our flowers. We've got the creamy light green and the green Aqua Pigment. And I went ahead and did the light green first and just added some contrast with the darker green. That's just the Aqua Pigment. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding some of the depth to the flower, the big bloom. I've got my coral, trying to add some shadow, some contrast. I used a little bit of the creamy Aqua Pigment on the yellow at this point, and then I pulled a little bit of the coral just to add a little bit more depth. I am also going to add some red. You will see me do that right here. I go right now, grabbing a little bit of the red just to get a little deeper hue in the shadows of my big bloom. Just referencing the image a little bit, just because with all the gold embossing, it was a little hard to see all the little details, and I wanted to make sure I was getting the leaves and everything where they go. All right, so now we're using the light pink and the pink. Just a few finishing touches, just adding just a little bit more depth. Like I said, it's easier as the layers dry, you can kind of see where you need the color. And you can see it, as I got looser, it looks more fun. I love how there's all the different colors on the petals. Okay, after I got it colored, I went ahead and trimmed it down a little bit so that I could mat it and put it on my card base. I added a little sentiment, embossed it in Raven embossing powder, and added a little embellishment here and there, and now you can see my finished card. All right, well now you know a little bit more about Aqua Pigments and some of the other amazing products that Brutus Monroe has to offer. And I will put my affiliate link in the comments, and you'll be able to click on that if you want to look for yourself and look on their website and see all of the gorgeous products that they carry. All right, thank you so much, and I hope that you'll subscribe if you haven't already done that, and I will see you again next time.